All right. If you don't know, now you do know. You're officially tuned in to a very special edition of the HFWB Podcast Series. Yes, that's right, the HFWB Podcast Series. And this is your host, Clifton Pope. I'm actually here doing a solo episode, which is something that I haven't done in quite some time. Matter of fact, I don't even remember the last time I recorded a solo episode, but regardless, we're here. Today is August the 16th. 2024. By the time you're listening to this episode, whether you subscribe to my YouTube channel at Health Fitness Wealth Business, and there's only one S in that business on that YouTube channel, then 8726. So subscribe to the YouTube channel at Health Fitness Wealth Business 8726, and that's business with one S. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. Be sure to leave a comment on there. That way we can have nice little discussions, speak the peace, keep the peace, all those things. And also you can download and stream and also hit that follow and that subscribe button on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, any platform you could think of that has a podcast attached to it. You can find the HFWB Podcast Series on there as well. There's been so much that's been going on right now as far as just within my own personal journey, within the entrepreneurship journey with health, fitness, wealth, business. I don't even know where to start, but I will start by saying this. For those who are listening currently in the Corpus Christi, Texas area, I recently just had my book signing this past Saturday, which was on August the 10th. At the Black Cat bookstore for my first poetry book, End Times, What is Your Revelation? I want to give a special shout out to everybody who came through and purchased a copy of A Course End Times, What is Your Revelation? And just supporting the journey of my growth and my evolution as a self-published author overall. So y'all be sure to go to Black Cat bookstores and get your copy of End Times, What is Your Revelation? It's for $25 a copy. It's worth the purchase because it's going to give you some hidden gems on how you could overcome the 7 deadly sins in the form of gluttony, in the form of sloth, in the form of lust, pride, envy, wrath, and greed. So you can learn how to overcome, all those 7 deadly sins. And at the same time, you can learn on how to, of course, better yourself from all that to where you won't be stuck in that same repeated cycle, that same repeated pattern as far as, why am I always suffering from all this? Have no fear. End Times, What is Your Revelation is here. So be sure to go get your copy at the Black Cat bookstores, which is located on 1316 South Staples Street. If I have that address correct, I apologize, Miss Caprice, the owner of Black Cat Bookstores, if I may have mispronounced that address, but it is on South Staples Street. For those who live in Corpus Christi, Texas, if you go down Morgan Avenue and the South Staples intersection and you make a right off of Morgan Avenue onto South Staples Street, you will literally see the Black Cat bookstore as soon as you drive, literally not even a block down the street. It's not that hard to miss. So go check them out. And for those who are listening to the HFWB podcast series and who don't live in Corpus Christi, Texas, you can purchase my first poetry book that I just released last month in July, on July the 11th to be exact. Be sure to purchase End Times, What is Your Revelation? It is available on Amazon. The ebook copy is available for $10, and the paperback copy is available, of course, for $25 as well. So I would definitely appreciate y'all to support the journey. That way we could continue to grow. That way we could continue to thrive. But I want to talk about a few things in particular, with it being the month of August. A lot of people don't know about, as far as the month of August, that August is Black Business Month. And it's basically dedicated to, of course, recognizing and celebrating the vital contributions of Black-owned businesses across the whole entire nation. That's the United States of America. But the importance of this month, it goes beyond the recognition. It's basically about acknowledging the challenges, celebrating the triumphs, and looking forward to a promising future for Black entrepreneurs. I mean, that hits me directly to the soul because For those who don't know, I actually sit on the board of the Corpus Christi Black Chambers of Commerce, which is the oldest chambers of commerce here in Corpus Christi, Texas. Not the United Chambers of Commerce, and that's not to throw shade at them, but let's just be honest. And those people who are part of the United Chambers of Commerce, y'all know who y'all are. Y'all are basically stealing, in a way, everything that the Corpus Christi Black Chambers of Commerce do and calling it yours without really confirming it, and at the same time not denying it at all. But that's a whole nother thing. But Corpus Christi Black Chambers of Commerce, we've been here in Corpus Christi, Texas for the last 80 years, dating back to the 1940s. And look at how far we've grown in 2024, because this is my third year being on the Corpus Christi Black Chambers of Commerce board, my second year as the treasurer for the Corpus Christi Black Chambers of Commerce. So connecting with all the Black business owners and entrepreneurs here in Corpus Christi, Texas. And trust me, there's not a whole lot of them, but there are some that, you know, they kind of slip through the cracks, or you got to pull them out of the cracks. That way you can get a better understanding of what's going on with them, as far as just acknowledging the struggles they went through, the muscle that they're trying to increase, and the hustle that they're overall trying to build. I mean, that alone goes beyond the recognition, because we're celebrating everything, the wins, the losses, the successes, the failures, because it all feeds into the growth. It all feeds into the evolution of our businesses and our entrepreneur path and our entrepreneur journey. Because as I said, you know, Black Business Month in the month of August is a pivotal time to highlight these importance of Black-owned enterprises to basically foster economic growth, create jobs, and drive innovation up to a whole nother level. I mean, with me being my own Black-owned business owner and entrepreneur with health, fitness, wealth business, I understand the importance of finding ways to grow through what you go through, find room for improvement, and continue to evolve your business on a regular basis. I mean, there's so much more you can do with your own business. And it's like, it's a reminder of just basically on how creative you need to be in the Black community, how resilient you need to be in the Black community. Because, hey, I remember whenever I went to Washington, D.C. last year in 2023 for the USBC, that's the United States Black Chambers of Commerce National Convention. I didn't go this year, but trust me, I went the last 2 years and I learned so much to where it just blew my mind. And the one thing that stood out to me the most, and this was when I went to the White House, this is when I went to the White House, of course, and, you know, it was a special surprise appearance by President Joe Biden and all that. But the one thing he said, and he said a lot of things in a very short amount of time, but the one thing that stuck out to me the most is that he said that Black-owned businesses and minority-owned businesses are the backbone of the U.S. economy. So for all these rules and regulations that's getting ready to take place, you know, with Project 2025, Agenda 47, which I'll definitely be diving into Project 2025 a little bit more. As a matter of fact, you heard it here first. I'm probably going to do about a 5, maybe 6-part series breaking down Project 2025 and exposing it for what it really is, because it could be a game changer depending on which side of the spectrum that you're on. So I figured I'd help everyone stay ready so they don't have to get ready, because like the HFWB Podcast Series is all about, information is the new money. The more informed and more educated you are, the more prepared you will be to where you can overcome whatever obstacle they throw in front of you, whatever difficulty, challenge, or trials and tribulations that you may face. You will basically be ready because you'll have the tools in your toolbox and you'll be ready to go as far as to fix things up a little bit, just in case things get broken down, if you know what I mean. But overall, like I was alluding to, as far as the Black-owned businesses and the minority-owned businesses, they not only contribute to the economy, as I just mentioned, but they also play a crucial role in uplifting communities, serving as pillars of economic development, y'all, and cultural identity. Let that sink in for a minute. And I see this on a regular basis, whenever I'm out in the community, of course, with the Corpus Christi Black Chambers of Commerce, I see how much certain Black owned businesses serve as like pillars to the community and stuff. I mean, I could think of a couple of Black owned businesses off of the top of my head. Special shout out to Robbie's Barbershop, for example. Special shout out to Kay's Emporium. Those are two businesses, Black owned businesses, that basically have stood the test of time since about the 90s, early 2000s, if I'm not mistaken, because I remember going to Robbie's Barbershop, which is located here on the west side of Corpus Christi, Texas. Those who are listening here in Corpus Christi, Texas know exactly what I'm talking about, because I feel like every Black man or every Black woman at one point has went to either Robbie's Barbershop, Tootie's Hair Salon, Kay's Emporium, and it's like I can go on and on and on as far as all the other Black owned businesses that have been around that have stood the test of time. I mean, here's a good one. Porter's Country Kitchen, now known as Porter's Country Kitchen Cuisine. Shout out to the owners, the lovely Miss Katina Stitt, who's actually sits on the board of the Corpus Christi Black Chambers of Commerce as our membership director. And shout out to her husband, Mr. Joseph Stitt. The most wonderful people, one of the most down-to-earth people who really care about empowering, uplifting, and inspiring the Black community by basically doing it through the power of food, which I've been there a couple of times. I enjoyed it. I personally recommend anybody who's looking for some authentic soul food here in Corpus Christi, Texas, you need to go check out Porter's Country Kitchen Southern Cuisine. It is located off of it's 213 North or South Chaparral Road, which is right in downtown Corpus Christi, Texas, right by the police department. For those who are listening in Corpus Christi, Texas, go check out PKK Southern Cuisine and see how they play a crucial role in uplifting communities by serving as pillars for economic development and cultural identity through the power of soul food. That's a good example right there, along with, again, Robbie's Barbershop. They've been around on the west side for I don't know how long. I used to get my hair cut when I was a little kid by Miss Helen, who used to work there. Special shout out to Miss Helen. Special shout out to, of course, Tootie's Hair Salon, which is also on the west side, literally down the street on West Point Road here in Corpus Christi, Texas, which is actually down the street from my house as we speak. I want to give a special shout out to Miss Tootie, who owns the salon. And I want to also give a special shout out to one of the hairstylists named Crystal. She always used to braid my hair back when I used to have braids. Again, those are examples of pillars for economic development in the hair and the beauty industry. Most importantly, you can't go wrong with that. But overall, as we look into 2024 and beyond, just as far as Black owned businesses, Black entrepreneurs, but most importantly, speaking to my generation, the young Black entrepreneurs. And it's funny how I said that, because yesterday on August the 15th, 2024, I actually hosted my third Young Black Professional Roundtable discussion. And we had some great discussions as far as, talking about how there's so many opportunities that are around, but at the same time, those opportunities don't come without some challenges in the way, I mean, we could break down as far as a couple of things, as far as what we talked about and what continues to be a struggle, not just for the young Black professional, but for just Black owned businesses and Black entrepreneurs just in particular. We could talk about access to capital, for example. It still remains one of the most significant hurdles for Black entrepreneurs. I see that on a regular basis, being a part of the Corpus Christi Black Chambers of Commerce. I can't count how many times we talk about that within our board meetings. I can't count how many times I've went to workshops and conventions, especially in Washington, D.C. with the USBC National Convention, the Texas African American Chambers of Commerce, the state convention here in Texas. They can't stress enough about the importance of access to capital, with it still being an obstacle that we must overcome as Black entrepreneurs. Man, I can't tell you how critical that is within itself. But There has been some strides that have been made in the area thanks to initiatives from financial institutions and venture capital firms that are focusing on minority business, but there's still a long way to go in regards to that. I mean, this is what we need. We need more programs providing grants, microloans, and underfunding options specifically tailored to us Black entrepreneurs, which can be very, very essential as far as taking some pressure off of making that next big expense that our business needs. That way we could continue to thrive. That way we could continue to survive. And that way, most importantly, we could continue to grow within the community within itself. The community must continue to push for more exclusive financial policies and equitable access to all of these resources. And I will say this, on behalf of the Corpus Christi Black Chambers of Commerce, that's something that the board of directors is working diligently on, is providing these resources on how Black entrepreneurs and Black business owners can continue to have more access to capital, because it's more critical than ever in 2024 and beyond. That's for sure. And that's just part of some of the challenges that, and at the same time, positive trends that we face as far as within the Black community. Another one that's kind of interesting is community and networking. That's something that we also talked about a little bit in details at the Young Black Professional Roundtable yesterday. We talked about the importance of the power of community that can never be underestimated, because everybody always knows someone who could either help you or basically take your business to the next level, so to speak, which is why I can't stress enough about the importance of networking. Oh my goodness, I can't count. The Corpus Christi Black Chambers of Commerce alone has blessed me with so many opportunities from a networking aspect and a community aspect. I've been able to meet so many other different entrepreneurs, business owners, even a few political figures myself, to where I've been able to connect with them as far as collaborating with them, having them as a guest on my podcast, and even maintaining friendships with them as far as, just in case favor for a favor is necessary, because you never know when that might come in handy as well. So networking, mentorship programs are invaluable for young Black entrepreneurs. These type of platforms alone, they provide the support, the guidance, and the opportunity necessary to share the knowledge and the resources to where you can take things to the next level, which is why the Corpus Christi Black Chambers of Commerce, we're always looking for new members to join. I mean, it's a $50 investment into getting access to all of these resources on how to figure out, how to get access to capital, how to take advantage of increasing government initiatives, how to take advantage of the Black community and networking within other Black entrepreneurs and Black business owners. That way we could come together, stand united as we stand stronger together, more so than ever. And that's where organizations and networks like, again, the Corpus Christi Black Chambers of Commerce comes in handy. I'm telling you, if it can happen for me, it could happen for you. It's like I say in my book that I wrote and self-published, my second book, A Dollar and a Vision. If I can do it, so can you. So just let that sink in for a little bit. Now, speaking of those government initiatives that I mentioned, of course, you got to find a way. The government always has to find a way in playing a vital role in supporting Black-owned businesses, especially with their policies in place. I mean, don't get me started on what's coming up in the 2024 election, because there's some potential impact that could come as far as new administrations being implemented, and it could be very, very significant. And I want to tell you what I feel may happen within the 2024 political election. And it may rub some people the wrong way, but this is just how I feel. I mean, this is just basically my intuition talking. I mean, yes, you have Kamala Harris. Yes, you have Donald Trump going up against each other head up. As much as I would love to see Kamala Harris and have a women's president and all that wonderful stuff, I think to myself, is she really the right choice? Because let's just say Kamala Harris is not all that she seems, vice versa with Donald Trump. Donald Trump at times is not all that he seems as well. So I look at it like this. It's the lesser of two evils. I'd rather go with the devil that I do know in Donald Trump than a devil that I don't know in Kamala Harris. That's the way I look at that situation playing itself out, which is why my gut feeling is telling me that Donald Trump is more than likely going to be our next president once again. And I feel like when that does happen, all hell is going to break loose. And that's probably going to initiate a second civil war, if anything. And I hope that I'm wrong on that. I would love to see Kamala Harris win, but at the same time, I'm going to be realistic here. Ever since the whole assassination attempt that happened with Donald Trump, with him getting his ear literally grazed and he almost got a headshot taken to him right on top of his head, if anything, when he got up and the Secret Service was picking him up from the podium and he had his fist up in the air like, let's continue to fight, let's continue to fight. You had the American people and the American flag in the background. When I saw that, my first thought that came to mind, and I'm going to be honest with y'all, I thought that Donald Trump basically solidified himself as the next president of the United States of America, and it's his presidency to lose. And honestly, that's still how I feel to this day. And for the record, I'm not a Donald Trump supporter, nor am I a Kamala Harris supporter. I'm neutral. If anything, if it was up to me, I'd rather stay independent because honestly, we deserve better candidates, if you really ask me. But we're stuck with either picking between Kamala Harris, Donald Trump, and basically whoever's independent. I believe it's Robert F. Kennedy, and he's not the best person either. So it's like, it's really, really hard to decide who you really want as our next president. I mean, some would say, oh, you need to go for Kamala, or oh, you need to go for Donald Trump. How about this? Why don't this is going to sound funny. And you know what? It's kind of like what Cat Williams said in one of his stand-ups. Maybe we should take a break, from having a president. Maybe we should be single as a country. Maybe we should, let things flow, let the people in Congress do their thing and let the higher power families run the country, because I'm just going to throw this out there as well. The president is not really the person who runs the country. And if you haven't figured that out by now, you're so stupid and you don't understand how governments and everything work. The Congress, the U.S. House of Representatives, the U.S. Senate, they are the ones who actually run the country. They're the ones who are putting together the laws in those behind the scenes closed door meetings that are sealed off from the public. And basically the president, he gets briefed on it by his whole entire staff. And then they basically tell him, here, this is what you're going to announce to the public. Go out there and make it happen. And the president basically just nods off and gives that final stamp of approval because he has that executive action of power within the executive branch. So that's pretty much my 2 cents real quickly on the 2024 elections, on how I feel it's going to come out. And man, like I said, we're going to dive into Project 2025. We're going to dive into Agenda 47 very, very soon, because those are pivotal plans with the potential to reshape various sectors, including support for minority-owned businesses. So basically, it's crucial for us entrepreneurs and Black business owners to basically stay informed and engaged with these political developments, because they're going to bring some substantial changes in funding, supportive programs, and regulatory environments. And if you don't believe me, you could literally Google this right now and you could read the whole 922-page document. And as a matter of fact, I have that downloaded to my laptop to where I'm going to pick up right where I left off and reading it myself to where I can get a better understanding. I'm not going to read all 922 documents. I may read some pages, skim through others, but it's out there for the public to see. Go to project2025.org and they got the full document on there for you to see. And they put it on there for a specific reason, because I have a feeling that that's going to get implemented regardless of whoever the next president is. That's something that's been in years in the making since like the 1980s. And I'm going to dive into all of that whenever I do my Project 2025 series for the HFWB Podcast Series. It'll probably be about, late September, early October range. So definitely be on the lookout for that. That's something you don't want to miss out on, because I'm going to expose it for what it really is, because that's just what I like to do. I like to expose the truth, because I'd rather be free by the truth than locked in a world full of lies. As a matter of fact, I'd rather be hurt by the truth than loving the lie all the time just to begin with. But anyways, that's a whole nother thing. But back to, as far as, the Black business, young Black professional roundtable discussion that we had. We also talked about, like encouraging innovation and stuff like that, because innovation is at the heart of entrepreneurship. Young Black business owners are no exception to it. We have to leverage technology. We have to learn how to use AI as a benefit and an advantage instead of a disadvantage. We also have to learn how to explore new markets. We have to be very innovating within our industries and let that be the key drivers to overall growth. And again, we're going through a digital transformation. I mean, we got the e-commerce stores, we got AI, we got blockchain with cryptocurrency, which I talked about in Dollar in a Vision, which is why you need to go get Dollar in a Vision on Amazon and off of my website, healthfitnesswealthbusiness.com/CP. I wrote literally a whole chapter on what's to come as far as taking a dive into the metaverse, taking a dive into blockchain. And as a matter of fact, AI is here to stay. It's not going anywhere anytime soon. As a matter of fact, I'm going to make a bold prediction. AI is basically going to start eliminating 9-to-5 jobs. I give it about 5 years minimum, 10 years tops. AI is going to be running the whole entire world. And it's going to be like how you see all those TV shows and movies in the future where you got all these robots. We're basically almost transitioning into the period of the Jetsons in real life. It's literally taking place before our very eyes. So I encourage everybody to wake up and open their eyes, because AI is not going anywhere. Whether you like it or not, you better learn how to deal with it, because I don't know about y'all, I'd rather have AI as my best friend versus my worst enemy. That's all I'm saying. I'm trying to have more friends than enemies, but I get it. We got to keep our friends close and our enemies closer. AI could be a potential enemy for down the road. So I'm keeping AI as close as I can be. That way I can manipulate it and I can pimp it out to my benefit and to my advantage, to where it helps me fulfill my vision, my mission within I'm going on within the course of my life, and pretty much helping me achieve my sense of purpose as well. Now, I want to, of course, give a quick brief review as far as things to come, as far as for the HFWB Podcast Series. I am going to be talking about Project 2025. And for those who don't know what Project 2025 is, again, Google it, type in the website, project2025.org, and you're going to see that it's been prepared by the Heritage Foundation, who aim to institute significant changes with the executive branch, which could impact policies related to business regulations, tax incentives, and basically funding opportunities. And basically, it's not going to be good. I'm telling you right now, if you haven't read Project 2025, it's not going to be good at all. And it's not going to be good for us Black folks. It's not going to be good for us Hispanics. It's not going to be good for us Asians. I'm just going to throw it out there. Project 2025 is basically a pro-white type of situation, where it's going to benefit the white man. It's going to benefit those who make millions of dollars, billions of dollars. It's going to give them more tax breaks. It's going to favor the rich and the wealthy, and it's going to provide basically a bigger gap that's already in place between the rich and the poor. It's going to wipe out the middle class, and the gap between the rich and the poor is going to be so far stretched to where it's never going to be the same ever again. And I'm going to explain to you why a little bit more in details when I kick off the Project 2025 series. Again, that's going to take place probably late September, early October. So be on the lookout for that, because I got a lot to say about that. And I'm going to save all my energy for that in particular, because that's going to be a game changer within itself. Just like Agenda 47 is going to be a game changer, because, hey, Agenda 47, you could literally Google that as well. You could literally go on to Donald Trump's official website, and you could literally look at each of the implementations that are planning to take place in Agenda 47. Now, I will say this, Agenda 47 isn't as bad as what people may seem it to be. You know, Agenda 47, it's going to benefit some. It's going to probably bring more harm to others, more so than anything, but that's why we have to stay ready so we don't have to get ready. That's why we have to do our own research, and we have to take it upon ourselves to, you know, fight for what's right and fight for what we believe in and stand by the truth. Because it comes down to this. I don't want to hear nothing about, you know, race, religion. I don't want to hear nothing about Democrats, Republicans, independent. This is how I like to govern things. I'm all about three things. It's all about real versus fake. It's about love versus hate. It's about good versus evil. I know what side I'm on. You need to figure out what side are you on at the end of the day. And at the same time, it really doesn't matter who the president's going to be. Like, I don't care if the president is Kamala Harris. I don't care if it's Donald Trump, because at the end of the day, they're not the ones who are really running the country. They're just the face of who's running the country. Again, the richest and the wealthiest families in the world, like the Rothschild, the Rockefeller families, all those family relatives that have descended down from, of course, all of them. They are the ones who are running the country because they got all the money. You got companies like Vanguard and BlackRock, who basically own all the corporations all across the world, whether it's involved in food, medical services, all of that. I'm not making this up, and I'm going to dive into that as well in a later episode, but I'm just giving you a snippet of what's to come, because the sense of urgency is on more so than ever as we go into the back end of 2024. Because my gut feeling is telling me that something is going to happen on a 9/11 effect that's going to change the whole entire world forever, and it's going to rock the entire world forever. Because all this stuff that's going on in the world, I really truly believe we're on the brink of a second civil war. I truly believe we're on the brink of a third world war. And at the same time, don't get me started on BRICS currency. We're about to have digital currency. I mean, look at all the stuff that's going on with the Olympics that just happened, with all the symbolism as far as, you know, the occult and all the devil worshiping and all of that bullshit. They're trying to bring the Antichrist into our faces little by little as we speak. And at the same time, that alone is going to kick off the 7-year tribulation. Then you wonder why I wrote my first poetry book, End Times, What is Your Revelation? I dedicated a whole poem talking about the bullshit that the Antichrist is going to put us through and try to fool everybody to thinking that they're God and Jesus Christ and all this, when it's all a facade, and that's far from the case. But that's a whole nother discussion for a whole nother day. I don't want to get too much into that, but trust me, I will get into that at another notice. I might bring that up in the Project 2025 series or in a future solo episode as I continue to peel the onion back layer by layer by layer. But overall, there's so many changes that are going on as far as within the Black community, Black entrepreneurs, Black-owned businesses. We're trying to navigate through all these changes, right? It's imperative for us Black entrepreneurs to remain connected and informed, staying proactive in our community discussions, engaging in policy advocacy, and consistently pushing for equitable resources that will help ensure that the progress made continues to advance. We need more diversity. We need more equality. We need more inclusion. We need to stay together as Black people, Hispanic people, Asian people, the minority communities. We need to stay together. You want to know what makes America a great country other than capitalism? Obviously, diversity, equality, inclusion, the whole DEI institution, DEI informed resources and subjects and classes and programs that involve DEI. That is what makes America what it really is. I'm going to be honest. If the founding fathers were to come back from the dead and see how America was today, they would be so pissed off if all the great civil rights leaders from, I don't know, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Frederick Douglass, Rosa Parks, and I'm just naming a few off of the top of my head. I can go down the list of all the national civil rights leaders who fought for our rights as Black folks to be able to be entrepreneurs and Black business owners. If they were alive today and saw what we were doing, some of them would probably be like, what the hell are you doing? You need to get your shit together before it's too late. Like, there's a lot at stakes, more so than ever than the 60s and the 70s. And if we don't get our shit together by the end of this year, we probably gonna revert back to that time of the 60s and 70s more so than anything, because they're literally trying to white out our history right in front of us. They're trying to make everything neutral. They're trying to implement the new world order that's been in the process of being implemented for, I don't know, the last 2 or 3 decades, since maybe the 80s or the 90s. I could be wrong on that, but it's definitely been the case since the early to mid 2000s, that's for sure. But other than that, as I wrap up this particular episode of the HFWB Podcast Series, because I can go on and on about this, Black Business Month is not just a celebration, it's a call to action. It's time to recognize these ongoing challenges. It's time to acknowledge the incredible potential talent that we have within the Black community, especially the Black entrepreneurial community as well. As we look ahead to 2024 and beyond, we need to continue to uplift, support, and champion the Black businesses that are so vital to our economy and our communities. Look at me, for example. I am my own Black entrepreneur in a Black-owned business that specializes in the physical, spiritual, the emotional, and the mental well-being, as far as just being the best version of yourself that you can be. That way you can create better habits of generational health, generational wealth, and knowledge of self. I encourage everybody to support health, fitness, wealth, business. I encourage everybody to uplift health, fitness, wealth, business. And I want everybody to champion health, fitness, wealth, business. Wear it proud like a championship belt around your waist. Check out all the products and services for health, fitness, wealth, business. Everyone here in Corpus Christi, Texas, y'all see how active I am on social media. Follow me on Facebook. My name is Clifton Pope. You can search me on Facebook right now. You could also search the Health, Fitness, Wealth, Business page, which is all lowercase, by the way, on Facebook, and you can hit that follow button. That way you can support, uplift, and champion health, fitness, wealth, business. As a matter of fact, you can visit my website as well, healthfitnesswealthbusiness.com/CP. That's another way you can support and uplift health, fitness, wealth, business. Matter of fact, like I said earlier, go to my YouTube channel at Health Fitness Wealth Business. And the business has 1 S and not 2 S's on this one in particular. Health Fitness Wealth Business with 1 S on the business, 8726. Hit that subscribe button, hit that follow button. That way you can check out all the content I have as far as all the video episodes of the HFWB Podcast Series, to all the contents that I put as far as like my motivational TikToks, my workout reels that are on TikTok as well. Oh, and by the way, you can follow me on TikTok at HealthFWealthB, all lowercase, .CP. Hit that follow button. That way you can continue to grow, uplift, and support health, fitness, wealth business, which is technically a Black-owned business because I am a Black man, even though I don't talk like I'm a Black man. If you see the video of me, I am a Black man, of course. But anyways, follow me on Instagram as well at cpope, all lowercase, at cpope_44. That way you can check out all of my content on Instagram as far as reels, announcements, and all that wonderful stuff. I'm trying to make sure I don't leave anything out as far as what's coming. Oh, on Tuesday, August the 20th, you may be listening to this at a later notice, but Tuesday, August the 20th, it will be the first Health is Wealth workshop series that I'm kicking off here in Corpus Christi, Texas. That will take place at the Coffee Waves in Flower Bluff, Texas, or Flower Bluff here in Corpus Christi, Texas. And that is, of course, going to feature myself, and it's going to feature the lovely Miss Alyssa Tran, who's a financial advisor, She's a financial advisor for Legends Financial Corpus Christi, and we're going to basically encourage everybody as far as just the importance of, as I bring this up, we're encouraging people the importance of investing in your health and discovering the true meaning of wealth. We're going to basically provide a fun, interactive, and free workshop designed to optimize your health and wealth from topics like fitness, mental health, financial education and freedom, and much more. So y'all need to go by 10309 SBID Drive, Suite F in Corpus Christi, Texas, which is the location of the Coffee Waves in Flower Bluff. That will be taking place Tuesday, August the 20th from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. We hope to see you there. Oh, and by the way, another thing that's coming up, my Spoken Word Wednesdays is definitely on the way, y'all. For those who went to my first Spoken Words Poetic Justice Night at the Jazz Room, Corpus Christi, special shout out to the lovely Miss Wisdom, aka Miss LaShonda Cordier, who goes by Miss Wisdom, who owns the Jazz Room, Corpus Christi. I'm grateful for our collaboration and our partnership. We had a successful debut event this past July, on July 26th. It was a beautiful environment to see. I had my mom and my dad there, my girlfriend, her mom, her sister. We were all there along with a bunch of other people in the community, just enjoying poetic justice vibes infused with jazz music. So we're bringing that back now. That's going to take place the first Wednesday of every month. The first Wednesday of every month. So the next time this will be taking place is September the 4th. At the Jazz Room Corpus Christi, which is on 1314 Ayer Street for those who live in Corpus Christi, Texas, right around 6 Point Station. Come on out, speak your piece, keep the peace. I'm calling out all poets. I'm calling out all speakers. I'm calling out all storytellers. If you have something to say and if you feel like speaking your piece and keeping the peace, hopefully you're okay with a lot of jazz music in the background. If so, you can speak your piece and keep the piece and tell your truth and tell your story through the power of a poem, scripture, or just the overall story or something you just have to say. That's taking place Wednesday, September the 4th, 2024, Jazz Room Corpus Christi from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Be sure to check that out as well. And oh yeah, y'all go buy my first poetry book, End Times, What is Your Revelation? It's on Amazon.com for those who don't live in Corpus Christi, Texas. But for those who do live in Corpus Christi, Texas, go check out Black Cat Bookstores, which is located, again, 1316 South Staples Street here in Corpus Christi, Texas, off of the Morgan Avenue and Staples intersection. Go check out Black Cat Bookstores and go get your copy of not only my most recent self-published poetry book, End Times, What is Your Revelation? But you could also get your copy of What's Wealth Without Work and Dollar in a Vision also at Black Cat Bookstores. And by the way, I'm also working on the trilogy for What's Wealth Without Work and A Dollar in a Vision as we speak. So be on the lookout for that as well. That book is going to be basically tie everything together, and I'm giving y'all an exclusive here. That book is called Consistency with a Sense of Urgency, and you'll see what I mean by that when I do release the book. So be on the lookout for Consistency with a Sense of Urgency, which is the trilogy for What's Wealth Without Work and A Dollar in a Vision. It's coming sooner than you think. Best believe that. But other than that, y'all continue to download and subscribe. Y'all continue to download and stream every single episode of the HFWB Podcast Series. I appreciate all the support. Y'all also be sure to go check out the Organic Combat Podcast that I started with my lovely co-host, the lovely Miss Kim Avalos. Go subscribe and go download that. All the episodes of the Organic Combat Podcast that's on Spotify podcasts right now as we speak. You won't be disappointed on that as well. And other than that, I can't thank y'all enough for continuing to support the growth, supporting the evolution, and just supporting the rise of health, fitness, wealth, business, because we're not going anywhere anytime soon. As long as there's still breath in me, and as long as that God continues to give me the direction on where I need to go, where I need to be to make a difference and make an impact at the right moment and right time, I'm not going anywhere for those who want me to go somewhere else with all the stuff that I'm talking about. That's all that I'm saying. But anyways, Other than that, I appreciate y'all for tuning in to this very special edition of the HFWB Podcast Series. Y'all be sure to go support your favorite Black-owned businesses, your favorite Black entrepreneurs, and y'all just continue to support the health, fitness, wealth, business movement, the business, the community, the brand, all of that, because it's only getting better every single time, every single way. So I encourage everybody once again to stay healthy, wealthy, and blessed. Peace, love, and positive vibes. Until I see you another day. Peace.